Hey artists, sometimes when you're stitching, you don't want to use a running stitch because it leaves a dotted line. Instead, you want to use a back stitch, which will create a solid line. To do that, you would thread your needle, tie a D knot, and do fish knots on the other end. Always start from the back side of your felt and begin sewing just like you're doing a regular old running stitch. Only when you pop up from your second hole, you're going to go back down where your previous stitch ended. See that? I'm going to go in here. That's going to connect the line. Now you might be wondering, now what? So pop up from your next hole with a gap and a space like you would always do, and go back down connecting to your previous line. What this does is it fills in the gaps as you go, so you don't have a dotted line, but instead you make a solid line. You could use this to make a solid line design. You could use this to write things. So if you want to turn a corner, you just want to keep an eye on things. Clearly you're connecting straight line segments. So if you wanted a perfect circle, you would need to go very small little stitches. Otherwise the straight line segments will show. So you see as I'm starting to curve this, it's pretty much working, but if I wanted it to be better, I would want to make sure that I do smaller little pieces. But with this back stitch technique, where you essentially go backwards to connect your lines, you can do a whole lot of things. Now to practice this today, you have on your table a piece of cardboard with holes in it, a plastic yarn needle, and a piece of yarn. What I would like you to do is go ahead and take your yarn, thread it through the large eye of the plastic yarn needle. And since you have big holes here and it's just for practice, you're just going to tie a knot. You could do a D knot here, but I think the yarn would just split and fall apart. I want you to take the other end, put it around the end hole of the cardboard piece and do the same thing, tie a knot. This is our approximation of sewing into felt without having to get out needles and threads and felt right now. So I want you to pop up from the next hole and go back down in your starting hole. Pop up in the next hole, go back down in your starting hole. And your practice will be to make it all the way to the other end of this piece of cardboard to show me that you got the hang of popping up a space away, going back down in your previous hole to connect. Once you've got it, I'd like you to show me that you have completed the activity, and then we will take it from there.